All right, and on that note, we want to switch gears and talk about another shopping festival. Now, this is happening for the 5th time in the country. That is a Changamka Festival that is put together by the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. And to help me with that conversation, Anthony Mwangi, who is the CEO of CAM, is here in studio with me this afternoon. Anthony, how are you feeling?
Very good. I'm excited to be here.
All right, welcome. Welcome back to the program. Now, it's about a few hours to the Changamka Festival, Season 5, if you may. Now, I just want you to help me understand, in terms of this shopping festival, how does it align with CAM's agenda on promoting what manufacturers are currently doing in the country?
Thank you, Jimmy, and I'm glad to be here. You mentioned that this is the 5th. It's actually the 6th shopping expo. And this is the opportunity that Kenyans have to be able to get access to goods that are manufactured in Kenya. This is when we talk about buy Kenya, build Kenya. And people and many Kenyans are aware about this, many, especially Nairobi and Mombasa and Kisumu, that the people who have come to those festivals have access goods that are of export grade. So I want to invite all the Kenyans, not just people in apparels, but across all manufactured goods. We have fantastic exhibitors. We have 172 exhibitors. We have, last year we got almost 50,000 people coming through the gates for the 4 days. So we expect this is going to be better and bigger, as the governor has said.
All right. So, and of course, you talked about 50,000. That is just foot traffic that attended last year's festival. I have been lucky to attend it before. So, in terms of the expectation of Kenyans, what should they expect during this festival?
Kenyans expect first to come and have fun. First, come and learn what is the capability of Kenyan manufacturers. What we bring forth is only the local manufacturers, only the manufacturing done in country. This is where we say it's an exclusive expo for Kenyan manufacturers. Come see the innovation from furniture, from textile, from pharmaceutical industry, across all the 13 sectors. So I expect Kenyans just to come and see the robustness of Kenyan manufacturing sector, which is actually very robust.
All right, there has been this perception that goods or products that are manufactured locally are more expensive compared to what is imported in the country. And of course, maybe out of fear, a lot of Kenyans will be maybe skeptical about consuming materials or products that have been made in Kenya. So maybe help us understand, is that the case? Are they more expensive, or what is the deal with that?
I think the price points and the conversation have been there are varied, because sometimes we get compared when you're selling new clothes, for instance, and the second-hand clothes. Of course, you cannot compare. But suffice it to say that some of the best brands in the world are made in Kenya. Kenya is the largest maker of Levi jeans. We supply the world with Levi jeans. These are the jeans that you'll buy in the streets of New York, in streets of San Francisco, in streets of Los Angeles. So I want Kenyans to come and have a look at the pricing. And actually, it's a fallacy. When you come there, you realize that actually you can buy new clothes, export-ready clothes at very competitive prices. So I'm just inviting everybody, just come and test, and then we can have that conversation.
All right. Now, again, Anthony, there's a concern, and this is something that, of course, we've had from Kenyans. This is the question of their disposable income. Times are hard, and by the time when you're talking about this festival, of course, we expect people to come and shop locally, and Kenyans might say, "I am willing to promote Kenya, buy Kenya, but I can't afford it." So, from where you sit as CAM and some of the conversations that you've had with manufacturers, in terms of exhibition, what then do manufacturers get out of this expo?
First, this even though we have outlets and many manufacturers will be selling on site, this is not really the usual business that they do, because a lot of manufacturers do not sell directly to consumers. They go through distributors, they go through stores, they go through supermarkets, they go through very many channels. This is one unique opportunity of people buying goods directly from the manufacturers. So it comes as a cheaper price. So, and I'm saying not just the apparels, it is all the equipment, including machinery. So I would invite Kenyans, even yes, things are tough, economic times are hard, but we give you an opportunity to come and own at very competitive prices.
All right, and of course, there is the question of when you look at manufactured goods that are then consumed in the country, what does the data show? How much do we consume of our locally manufactured goods?
I don't have the numbers, offhand, but I can assure you that yes, we import quite a bit, and importation is not just unique to Kenya. It is traded goods and manufactured goods are actually one of the most. The data shows us that they're one of the most traded exports and imports. But in terms of the numbers, we could do better as local manufacturers. And that's why we keep on saying that we need to be globally competitive, because we're in a global marketplace. Nairobi, Kenya is a global marketplace. We have people producing in China, we have people producing in India, we have people producing in the EU market, there are people producing in Brazil, and they come and sell into Kenya because we are open market. So for us to be able to sell more, the issue is not to keep our borders closed, is to ensure that we are globally competitive. We are producing goods at the right price, at the right quality that the people are willing to pay for. I can say, yes, if you go to supermarkets, you go to the shops across the country, what you find there is manufactured goods. Whether you're in Sioport, whether you're in Lunga Lunga, a border with Tanzania, whether you are in Garissa, whether you're in Wajir, you find manufactured goods, Kenyan manufactured goods.
All right, now, Anthony, of course, things have really changed over time. Now, for the longest time, Kenya's export market was doing really well. So do you foresee that such a festival or such an event then would be able to put Kenya back on the map, that we can be in that position that we get to then export some of the locally manufactured goods and products to other countries?
Indeed, and we've been doing promotion, online, and when we look at the data, we're looking at seeing people, getting interest from as far as DRC, EAC markets, because they know the quality of Kenyan goods. So we expect that there are people who will come and start establishing, trade opportunities for Kenyan goods outside the country. While this is important, it is not sufficient. We need to do more to export. And that's what I was saying. First, we fix global competitiveness, and then we have an export-led growth strategy that will make sure that the Kenyan goods are exported. Yeah. If you look at the data and you look at EAC itself is 350 million people. We need to do more to access that market. If you look at Africa, you look at AFCTA, we are talking about GDP of almost 3 trillion US dollars. That is Africa. So, but again, how do we capture this market? There is a lot to be done, and that's why we've come up with the 4 pillars. Number 1, global competitiveness. Number 2, export-led growth strategy. Number 3, SME development. And number 4, it is agriculture for industry. Kenya has potential, and there is a lot that we can do.
All right, and speaking of SMEs, of course, we expect that some of them will be taking part in this. Maybe you can just help us through understanding some of the SMEs that have shown interest, and what specific sector do they come from?
So SME, first of all, CAM membership, 52% of the members are SMEs, which is something that many people may not know. And in fact, even the bigger number of the people who will be exhibiting are SMEs. And if you look, they cut across many SMEs, and you find fantastic ideas. People doing leather, people doing shoes, people doing beauty products, people doing food products, people doing very innovative, even engineering products. So they cut across, and you'll be surprised that how Kenyan SMEs are innovative. And we're looking forward to inviting everyone to come and see the creativity.
All right, and I'm sure for a lot of manufacturers, one of the things that maybe they will be looking at is trade linkages. What role do some of these festivals, and particularly the Changamka Festival, then play in creating these linkages?
So apart from, thanks Jimmy, apart from inviting people from outside the country, outside Nairobi, to come and just see what Kenyan companies are doing, Kenyan manufacturers are doing, we also create a marketplace where people within the exhibitors themselves are interacting and creating trade links. And we have forums that we have set up, different forums or D rooms, where people can be able to meet and share and make deals among themselves. So, and there are many examples of companies that started with our first Changamka in Nairobi. Yeah. And now they have gone all over the country. through themselves and through the partners. So this is one of the best forum, one of the best marketplace for people to come and first sell, demonstrate their creativity, attract people, create linkages with outside the country, and also create relationships with other exhibitors.
All right, Anthony, I know we are fast running out of time. So there's the question of then, in terms of support, what do manufacturers then need to be able to place them and to place Kenya as an export market, not just an import market where we have a lot of dumped products coming into Kenya?
So this is a wider subject, Jimmy. And as I mentioned to you, we have 4 pillars. When we met with His Excellency the President last year in October and also in June this year, and we had a very lengthy and productive conversation. And we say that manufacturing, if you look at the status of manufacturing today, we contribute 7.8% to the GDP. But without 7.8%, what does it mean? Contributing 352,000 jobs. That is a second only to the public sector. And in terms of KRA and tax coffers, 360 billion, that is 18% of the tax coffers. So you can see, even though we are 7.8, the contribution is big. And we agreed that now we need to high grade that 7.8% to 20% by 2030. What will that mean? If you look at the jobs alone, that is 3x growth. We go to over 1 million shillings. If you look at the taxes, again, we go over a trillion shillings. And the output alone is about 6 trillion shillings. This is the only way that we can be able to build a resilient and a sustainable economic development in Kenya. Manufacturing creates sustainable jobs. Manufacturing creates sustainable exports. Manufacturing creates sustainable economic development. And we have done a lot of analysis across our 13 sectors, and we have indeed seen that all those sectors, some of them can grow by 5x, others by 3x, others by 2x. So when we talk about 20% by 2030, it is true that it can happen, but we need to put our act together. And that's what we're calling an org work together.
All right, so finally, Anthony, in about 30 seconds, I just want you to, now, I want to put you on the spot, rather, and I want you to tell me, as you're looking at this Changamka Festival, what will be your highlight in terms of, if we achieve this, we will have had a successful festival?
So you also need to define the success. Success number 1 is to ensure that there is value addition, there is value that our exporters will get, and that Kenyans will be able to access the goods. We'll be tracking and looking at doing the survey and how the activities have done. But ultimately, my value is Kenyans coming and seeing what Kenyan manufacturers are doing. That will be the greatest value.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. And of course, over time, we'll just be sitting down and having a post-mortem for instance, just look at how much trade was conducted, how much did manufacturers make out of the 4 days. So the Changamka Festival will be happening at the KICC, and of course we will be there just to look at some of the products that are being offered by Kenyans in that spirit of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. That's all the time we have for you this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Buya KTN is up next.